your mind can turn the smallest moment into a full-blown storm. A text goes unanswered, and you immediately assume you're being rejected. Someone speaks to you in a slightly different tone, and your mind starts searching for hidden meanings that were never there. You remember a mistake you made years ago, and within minutes, it feels as though your entire life has gone in the wrong direction. Most people call this overthinking, but overthinking is more than simply thinking too much. It is the habit of allowing fear, memories, uncertainty, and imagination to take control of your attention. Your mind keeps replaying what cannot be changed. It predicts events that have not happened. It uses the stories of the past and the possibilities of the future to create suffering in the present moment. And while all of this is happening, something incredibly important quietly slips away your ability to see things clearly. Buddhist wisdom does not teach you to destroy your mind or force every thought into silence. Instead, it teaches you to understand your mind so deeply that the noise within no longer controls you. When you begin to see how thoughts arise, why they keep repeating themselves, and why they feel so convincing, you naturally create space between awareness and fear. In this video, you will discover 10 Buddhist lessons that can help you stop overthinking and regain clarity of mind. Pay special attention to Lesson 7. It reveals why the harder you try to force your thoughts to stop, the stronger they become. And once you truly understand this, your relationship with your own mind may change completely. That journey begins right now. The first lesson is the simplest one, yet it is also the one most people forget. A thought is not a fact. Your mind may tell you that something bad is about to happen, but that does not mean real danger is right in front of you. Your mind may tell you that you are not good enough, but that thought cannot define your worth. It may even whisper that someone no longer cares about you simply because they replied more slowly than usual, spoke less, or stayed quiet longer than normal. In moments like these, the most dangerous part is not that the thought appears. The real danger is believing it too quickly. Overthinking begins the moment you turn a possibility into a conclusion, a fear into evidence, and an unverified story into reality. From one tiny sign, your mind can create an entire painful scenario. And the more you replay that scenario, the more your emotions respond as if it has already happened. Buddhism teaches us to observe our thoughts before believing them. When a negative thought appears, do not rush to fight it, and do not rush to follow it either. Pause for a moment and ask yourself, is this the truth? Or is it simply a possibility created by fear? That pause may seem very small, but it creates an incredibly important space. Within that space, you are no longer carried away immediately. You have time to observe, to examine, and to choose how you want to respond. Imagine that every thought is like a guest knocking on the door of your home. Some guests are pleasant, others are loud, some make you feel uneasy. But not everyone who knocks deserves to stay forever. You can acknowledge their presence without handing them the keys to your home. A thought may enter your mind, but it does not become the truth simply because it appears. And once you begin to understand that, another question naturally arises: if thoughts are not always the truth, how do you bring your mind back to the only place that truly exists? The answer lies in the second lesson, returning to the present. Moment. Overthinking rarely lives in the present moment. It pulls you back to what has already happened or pushes you toward what has not happened yet. Your mind replays an old conversation, imagines all the things you should have said, and creates dozens of possible outcomes for something that may never happen. You are sitting here, but your mind is living in the past. You are breathing in this very moment, yet your attention has already rushed into tomorrow. Your body remains in the present, while your mind wanders between memories that cannot be changed and futures that have no evidence. That is why you can feel exhausted, even when you have done nothing physically demanding. Your mind has been fighting battles that exist only in your imagination. Buddhism reminds us that the past is nothing more than memory. The future is only a prediction, and the present moment is the only place where you can truly take action. You cannot go back and change something you said years ago. You cannot completely control what tomorrow will bring, but right now you can still choose how to breathe, how to see, and how to respond. When your mind starts wandering too far, do not argue with it. Instead, gently bring your attention back to something that is real. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice the air moving in and out of your nose. Look at an object in front of you and quietly name it. Listen to a sound nearby. Notice whether your shoulders are tense or relaxed. These actions may seem incredibly simple, but that simplicity is exactly what pulls you out of the maze of overthinking. Try it right now. Take one slow, deep breath. Hold it for a moment. Then exhale just a little longer. If you are truly present in this moment, leave a comment with the number 1. Not to please anyone else, but to remind yourself, I am here, I can see my mind, and I choose to return to the present. The present moment may not feel as powerful as your fears, but it is far more real than they are. And every time you return to it, you reclaim a piece of the attention your mind has carried away. But there is another challenge. Even after returning to the present, the same old story can come back again and again. It repeats itself until you begin to believe that it is who you are. That is where we move into the third lesson: stop feeding the same story in your mind. Overthinking rarely lives in the present. It pulls you back to what has already happened, or pushes you toward what has not happened yet. Your mind replays an old conversation, imagines the things you wish you had said, and creates dozens of possible outcomes for something that may never happen. You are sitting here, yet your mind is living in the past. You are breathing in this moment, but your attention has already rushed into tomorrow. Your body remains in the present while your mind wanders between memories that cannot be changed and futures that have no proof. That is why you can feel exhausted, even when you have done nothing physically demanding. Your mind has been fighting battles that exist only in your imagination. Buddhism reminds us that the past is only a memory, the future is only a prediction, and the present is the only place where you can truly act. You cannot go back and change something you once said. You cannot completely control what tomorrow will bring, but right now you can still choose how to breathe, how to see, and how to respond. When your mind begins to wander too far, do not argue with it. Simply bring your attention back to something that is real. Feel your feet touching the ground. Notice the air moving in and out of your nose. Look at an object in front of you and quietly name it. Listen to a nearby sound. Notice whether your shoulders are tense or relaxed. These actions may seem too simple, but that simplicity is exactly what leads you out of the maze of overthinking. Try it right now. Take a slow, deep breath. Hold it for a moment. Then breathe out a little more slowly. If you are truly present in this moment, leave a comment with the number 1. Not to please anyone else, but to remind yourself, I am here, I can see my mind, and I choose to return to the present. The present moment may not feel bigger than your fears, but it is far more real than they are. And every time you return to it, you reclaim a piece of the attention your mind once pulled away. But there is another challenge. Even after you return to the present, the same old story can come back again and again. It repeats itself until you begin to believe that it is who you are. That is where we move to the third lesson. Stop feeding the same story in your mind. Buddhism reminds us that nothing remains the same forever. Emotions change, circumstances change, people change, and so do your thoughts. When anxiety appears, your mind often says, "This feeling will never end." When sadness arrives, it whispers, "I will always feel this way." When you feel lost, it convinces you that clarity has disappeared forever. But that is simply the mind, exaggerating a temporary state. Think of the Ganges River flowing through Varanasi. You can stand on its banks and watch the water moving without end. Yet the water before your eyes is never the same water that passed a few minutes ago. It carries the same name, but every single moment it is changing. Your mind is the same. A thought that arises in Delhi may weigh heavily on your heart. A memory that returns while you are in Mumbai may darken your entire day. A fear that appears in the quiet of Bodh Gaya may make you believe that peace has disappeared. But places change, time changes, circumstances change, and that thought will change as well. Even the Himalayas, which seem perfectly still, are constantly shaped by wind, rain, snow, and time. If even mountains continue to change, Why would a single thought in your mind last forever? The problem is not that negative thoughts appear. The problem is that you give them lasting power simply because they are present right now. Imagine your mind as the sky above Rishikesh during the monsoon season. Sometimes dark clouds gather covering the sunlight so completely that you begin to believe the sky itself has disappeared. But the sky has never gone anywhere. It is only temporarily hidden. The same is true for you. Your peace has not disappeared just because you feel anxious today. Your clarity has not vanished simply because your mind feels chaotic right now. Your worth has not changed just because a negative thought is passing through. When a heavy thought appears, gently remind yourself, this is here right now, but it will not stay forever. Do not call it your future. Do not turn it into your identity. Do not let one temporary moment write the sentence for your entire life. A thought comes and it goes. An emotion rises and it falls. A storm may hide the sky, but it can never destroy it. And when you deeply understand impermanence, you will no longer be so afraid of whatever appears in your mind. But truly, calming the mind requires more than understanding impermanence. You also need to look at how much noise and stimulation you allow into your mind every single day. That is the focus of Lesson 5, reducing mental noise and unnecessary stimulation. Many people long for a clear and peaceful mind, yet they keep pouring more chaos into it from morning until night. The moment you wake up, you reach for your phone. You read messages, watch videos, scroll through the news, listen to other people's opinions, see other people's success, and quietly compare it to your own life. Before one thought has a chance to settle, another sound interrupts it. Before one emotion can be understood, another piece of content pulls your attention somewhere else. Then you sit down and wonder why your mind never feels calm. But how can a lake become still if stones are constantly being thrown into it? Buddhism does not teach you to escape the modern world. It simply reminds you to be mindful of what you allow into your mind each day. Food is not the only thing that nourishes you. Images, sounds, words, comparisons, fears, and endless arguments also feed your mind. If you constantly consume chaos, do not be surprised when there is no room left inside you for peace. Imagine your mind as a glass of muddy water. If you keep shaking it, the water will always stay cloudy. But when you gently set the glass down and leave it alone, the mud slowly settles to the bottom. Clarity does not need to be forced. It appears when you stop stirring the water. Your mind works the same way. You do not need to do anything dramatic. Start with just 10 minutes of silence each day. No phone, no music, no videos, no conversations. Simply sit quietly, walk slowly, or drink a glass of water with your full attention. At first, you may feel restless. Your hand will want to reach for your phone. Your mind will want to jump to something else. Old memories may suddenly return. Do not mistake that for failure. It is simply the first time you are noticing how deeply your mind has become accustomed to running away. If you have realized that you have been filling your own mind with too much noise, take a moment to like this video. That simple click is more than support for the channel. It is a promise to yourself that starting today you will protect your attention more carefully. Before you open another video, read another news story, or continue scrolling without thinking, ask yourself, will this make my mind clearer, or will it make it more chaotic? That single question can change the way you spend your entire day. You cannot keep pouring noise into your mind and expect it to give you clarity. As the noise outside begins to fade, you will hear more clearly what is happening within, but then a deeper challenge appears. You may be able to observe a thought, yet still unconsciously believe, this is me. That is where we move into Lesson 6. Stop identifying yourself with every thought that appears in your mind. There is a profound difference between saying, I am anxious, and saying, anxiety is arising within me. The first statement turns a temporary experience into your identity. The second creates space. And that space is where freedom begins. When you say, I am a failure, your mind instantly turns one experience into a lifelong sentence. But when you say, "I am experiencing the feeling of failure," you acknowledge the pain without allowing it to define who you are. Buddhism teaches that thoughts, emotions, and even your self-image are constantly changing. They come and go. They arise from memories, habits, fears, desires, and past experiences. That is why not every voice that appears in your mind is your true self. A thought may tell you that you are not good enough, but it is only a thought. An emotion may make you feel weak, but it is only an emotion. A memory may convince you that your past is still controlling your life, but it is only a memory returning once again. Imagine your mind as a radio. At every moment it is tuned to a different station. Sometimes it plays the station of fear, sometimes regret, sometimes comparison, anger, or self-doubt. But just because the radio is playing a certain sound does not mean that sound is you. You are the one listening. You are the awareness behind the sound. You can hear fear without becoming fear. You can feel sadness without believing you are destined to be a sad person forever. You can notice distraction without concluding that you will never be able to focus. The next time a negative thought appears, do not say, "This is who I am." Instead say, "A thought is arising." Do not say, "I am broken." Instead say, "I am going through a difficult season." Do not say, "I cannot control my mind." Instead say, "My mind is very noisy right now, but I can still observe it." Small changes in your language can create powerful changes in your awareness. The way you describe your experience shapes the way you relate to it. You do not need to deny your emotions. You do not need to pretend to be strong. You simply need to stop giving a temporary state the power to define your entire life. You are experiencing that thought. You are not that thought. And once you stop calling every thought me, you begin to discover something even more important. The harder you fight your mind, the stronger you may unintentionally make it. That is the heart of Lesson 7. Stop fighting your mind. Most people try to stop overthinking by ordering themselves to stop thinking. They say, "Stop thinking, calm down, I shouldn't feel this way, I have to get rid of this thought immediately." But the harder you force your mind to be quiet, the more attention you give to the very thing you want to eliminate. And attention is the fuel that keeps a thought alive. Try telling yourself that for the next 10 seconds, you must not think about a white elephant. What appeared in your mind? Most likely, it was the image of a white elephant. That is how the mind works. The moment you tell yourself that a thought must not appear, your mind has to keep checking whether it is still there. And every time you check, you invite it back. That is why the more you fight fear, the more you have to look at it. The harder you try to push away a memory, the more often it returns. The more you criticize yourself for overthinking, the more layers of thinking you build on top of your original pain. At first, you simply feel anxious. Then you become anxious about being anxious. Next, you blame yourself for not being able to calm down. In the end, one small thought becomes an entire battle inside your mind. Buddhism does not teach you to control the mind through force. It teaches you to observe without clinging, to become aware without judging, and to let thoughts pass without turning them into enemies. When a negative thought appears, you do not need to defeat it. You do not need to obey it either. You simply need to notice it. Imagine yourself standing beside a river. Your thoughts are like leaves floating on the surface. One leaf carries fear, another carries regret, others carry anger or self-doubt. You do not need to jump into the river to catch every leaf. You do not need to throw stones to make them disappear. You only need to stand still and watch them drift by. A thought appears. You notice it. You take a breath. You let it continue on its way. This is not weakness. It is a profound form of discipline. Reacting automatically is easy. Observing without being pulled away is the real challenge. Think about holding a handful of sand. If you squeeze it tightly, the sand slips through your fingers. But when your hand relaxes, the sand can rest peacefully in your palm. Your mind is the same. The tighter you grip it, the more it resists. The more you force it, the more restless it becomes. Peace does not come from winning every battle against your thoughts. It comes from no longer turning every thought into a battle. The next time your mind becomes noisy, gently say, I see this thought. I do not need to fight it. I do not need to follow it either. Then, return to your breath. What you resist in fear may grow stronger, but what you observe with awareness gradually loses its power over you. And when you stop reacting instantly to every thought, you create a new space within yourself. In that space, you can ask questions instead of panicking and look deeper, instead of believing every thought at first glance. That is where we move into Lesson 8, replacing automatic reactions with mindful observation and understanding. Between a thought and your response there is always a tiny space. But most people move through that space so quickly that they never even notice it. A fear appears, and you immediately panic. A memory returns, and your mood instantly becomes heavy. Someone speaks to you in a colder tone than usual, and your mind immediately creates a series of stories. They're upset with me. What did I do wrong? Maybe this relationship is about to end. The problem is not just the first thought. The real problem is reacting so quickly that you never stop to ask whether what you are believing is actually true. Buddhism teaches that suffering grows when the mind reacts before it understands. A reaction is often fast, unconscious, and guided by old wounds. You think you are responding to the present moment, but many times you are simply reacting from the past. A conversation today may touch the pain of being abandoned years ago. Someone's silence today may awaken an old fear of not being loved. A small failure today may bring back the old story that you are not good enough. Instead of reacting, immediately learn to investigate your thoughts. When a negative thought appears, pause and ask yourself, is this the truth, or is fear speaking? Is this happening right now, or am I reliving an old memory? Is this thought helping me see more clearly, or is it only making me suffer? What would happen if I chose not to follow this thought? These questions are not meant to create more thinking. They are like turning on a light in a dark room. When you cannot see clearly, even a small sound can make you believe there is danger. But once the light comes on, you realize that what frightened you was only a curtain moving in the wind or a door that was left slightly open. Toxic thoughts work the same way. As long as they remain vague, they seem incredibly powerful. But when they are seen with mindful awareness, they begin to lose their weight. If you are watching this video from Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Jaipur, Varanasi, or anywhere else in India, leave the name of your city in the comments below. I would love to know how many people are practicing mindfulness together in this very moment. Let the name of your city become a simple reminder, I am here, I am fully present. I no longer react unconsciously. When you replace reaction with observation, you begin to notice repeating patterns. You realize that many different thoughts are actually the same old fear wearing different masks. The fear of rejection may appear in your relationships. The fear of failure may appear in your work. The fear of not being good enough may appear every time you compare yourself to someone else. A person who reacts is led by the mind. A person who observes gradually learns to guide the mind. And as your reactions slow down, your attention is no longer pulled in every direction. You begin to preserve your energy for what truly matters. That is the doorway to Lesson 9, training your attention through mindfulness. Many people believe that mindfulness means sitting still, closing your eyes and trying not to think. But in Buddhism, mindfulness is not a state of emptiness. It is the ability to notice where your mind has wandered and gently bring it back. Your mind becomes skilled at whatever you practice every day. If you repeatedly practice distraction, distraction grows stronger. If you repeatedly practice worry, your mind becomes quicker to run toward worry. If you check your phone every few minutes, your attention learns that it never has to stay with one thing for very long. But the opposite is also true. Every time you notice that your mind has drifted and consciously bring it back, you are retraining your mind. Every time you interrupt a chain of thoughts and return to your breath, you strengthen your attention. Every time you choose presence instead of reaction, you build a new pathway within yourself. Mindfulness does not mean that your mind never wanders. Mindfulness means noticing that it has wandered and knowing how to return. Imagine your attention as a muscle. If you never use it properly, it grows weak. If you train it consistently, it grows stronger. Every time you bring your attention back to the present moment, it is like lifting a weight for your mind. You can begin with a very simple practice. Sit quietly for 5 minutes. Place your attention on your breath. Feel the air flowing in, feel the air flowing out. When your mind drifts toward work, old memories, fears, or tomorrow's plans, do not become frustrated. Simply notice, my mind has wandered. Then gently return to your breath. If it wanders 10 times, return 10 times. If it wanders 100 times, return 100 times. Every return is not a failure. Every return is the practice. This is what many people misunderstand. They meditate for a few minutes, notice that their mind is still noisy, and conclude that mindfulness is not for them. But that is simply the impatience of a mind that has become used to expecting immediate results. A field does not become green after a single watering. A body does not become strong after one workout. And a mind that has been scattered for years cannot become peaceful after only 5 minutes. What matters is not whether you are perfect. What matters is whether you keep coming back. You can also practice mindfulness in the simplest moments of everyday life. When you drink water, truly notice its taste. When you walk, feel your feet touching the ground. When you eat without looking at your phone. When someone speaks to you, listen without preparing your reply in advance. Those small moments gradually gather the pieces of attention that have been scattered for so long. A distracted mind always feels exhausted. A mind that learns to rest in one place gradually becomes clear and steady. Remember this, concentration does not mean you never lose focus. Concentration means knowing how to return every time you do. And when you develop the ability to return, you will not only overthink less, you will also begin to reclaim the power to choose where your attention belongs. But understanding these ideas and practicing them for a few minutes is not enough. If you want real transformation, mindfulness must become part of the way you live every day. That is the final lesson, turning clarity into a daily way of life. You may understand everything you have just heard and feel calmer for a few minutes. But if tomorrow you reach for your phone, the moment you wake up, allow a single message to control your emotions, or let an old memory shape your entire day, then that understanding has not yet become real change. In Buddhism, understanding is only the first step. Practice is the path. Your mind did not develop the habit of overthinking in a single day. It was built through repetition. Every time you immediately believe your fears, react before observing, or run away from silence, you strengthen the old path. That is why change must also be built through repetition. Every time you pause before reacting, you create a new habit. Every time you notice a thought without following it, you teach your mind a new way of living. You do not need one great moment of enlightenment. You need many small moments of awareness. One deep breath before you respond. One pause before believing your fear. One moment of putting your phone down. One moment of recognizing that an old story has returned. Start with your morning. Before you pick up your phone, take 3 slow breaths and gently remind yourself, today, I will not believe every thought that enters my mind. Throughout the day, remember these 4 steps. Pause, breathe, observe, choose. When someone upsets you, do not react immediately. When fear appears, do not rush to believe it. When an old memory returns, do not turn it into your present reality. At the end of the day, ask yourself, where did my mind carry me today? When did I react instead of observe? When did I successfully return to the present? This is not a way of judging yourself. It is a way of learning about yourself. Some days you will do well. Other days your mind will become noisy again. That does not mean you have failed. Progress does not mean you never lose your way. Progress means the time it takes you to return becomes shorter and shorter. A thought that once controlled you for hours may only hold you for a few minutes. A memory that once ruined your entire day may one day pass by like nothing more than a shadow. That is how the mind is rebuilt. Not through one great battle, but through small choices repeated every single day. Clarity is not something you accidentally discover. It is a habit you intentionally build. And now let us bring all 10 lessons together into one final message that you can carry with you long after this video ends. Your mind will still have noisy days. Fear may still return. Old memories may still appear without warning. Doubt may still quietly find its way in, even when you are doing your best to stay calm. But now you understand that just because a thought appears does not mean you have to believe it. A fear is not a prophecy. An emotion is not your identity. A memory is not the present moment. And one chaotic moment is not your entire life. You do not need to eliminate every thought. You only need to stop giving them the power to control you. When your mind drifts into the past, gently return. When it rushes toward the future, take a slow breath. When fear begins to tell a story, observe it. When doubt appears, ask yourself, is this the truth? Or is it simply a thought passing through? And when you lose your focus, do not punish yourself. Gently return once again. That is how peace is built, not through force, not through anger, not by running away from yourself, but through awareness, patience, and daily practice. Remember this, your mind may create noise, but you can always choose clarity. If you have stayed with me until this moment, leave a comment with the number 1. Let it be your commitment that starting today you will no longer keep feeding every negative thought that enters your mind. And if this journey has made your mind feel even a little lighter, please like this video, share it with someone who may need a little more peace in their life, and subscribe to Healing Journey Buddhist Meditation. Here we will continue exploring Buddhist wisdom together to heal the mind, let go of suffering, strengthen mindful awareness, and rediscover the quiet strength within. And don't miss the next episode, because the journey of healing does not end with a single video. It is built one lesson at a time, one breath at a time, one pause at a time, one mindful moment at a time. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode of Healing Journey Buddhist Meditation.